session of our Jason and the Cosmonauts game, otherwise known as Space Grease, where we're combining mythological themes with a sort of kludge of space opera style vibe. Our game began with a number of legendary heroes, each related to the divine: Alien, Aeson, Titus, and Theron, being recruited to sail on the ship, the Trelos Cosmos, owned by Aeson, at the behest of Jason, the deposed rightful ruler of the world of Athens. A great plague has struck the citizens of Athens, and Jason believes that if he can retrieve a divine item known as the Fleece, which is reputed to have ancient healing properties, that he will be able to rally the people behind him and regain his throne. To this end, he ran a series of contests to recruit only the greatest to be part of his crew, trying to locate this Fleece. When we left them last time, they'd arrived at the world of Harpy, since Jason, not knowing the exact route to the Fleece, directed them to the world of Harpy because it's believed to be the abode of Phineus, a prophet, given the gift of prophecy by Zeus himself. And he believes that Phineus will be able to tell them the actual location of the Fleece, and they can sail there through the darkness between the worlds, the darkness of Hades' domain, guided by Leon, their ferryman, to retrieve the Fleece. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask each of the players to introduce themselves and say a little bit about their character. So why don't we first of all start off with Dennis, who is playing our ferryman.
Yes, I play Aeolian, the ferryman or navigator of the Trelos Cosmos. This is a little blue girl with blonde hair who has her eyes blinded, so she can only see the river Styx and all the dead people.
Okay, thank you very much. And we'll next move on to our great and noble hero, Theron.
Right, so I'm playing Theron, who is famous throughout the Republic of the Stars as a warrior philosopher of Athena. Space famous, yes, thank you, Matthew. He's actually space famous. And so he's a warrior philosopher from the Temple of Athena. And he carries the divine tachyon bow of the goddess and is fairly proud of his sharp mind and is accompanying the glorious Jason out of a sort of patriotic spirit to restore Athens to whatever glories it might have been in the past.
Indeed, and currently he is accompanied by Lasthena, who is a woman who appears for all intents and purposes to be besotted by the heroic reputation and the sheer magnificence of this great hero of the Republic. But for now, let's move on to our great captain of the Trelos Cosmos, Aeson.
Hello everyone, my name is Lloyd, and I'll be playing Aeson, son of Cosmos. He is a scion of Dionysus, and as such has a Dionysus level of taste in the human pleasures, preferably that involving lots of wine. He's the captain of the ship Trelos Cosmos, and he is going on with Jason because Jason pays a lot of good money and has given a lot of really good crewmen that he might decide to stick on afterwards. We've just let outside of Harpy due to a incident, but things looking up. Things looking up. Also, he's not sober, which is always great.
And last but by no means least, we have the scion of Hephaestus, Titus.
Hello, yes, I am playing the repentant cyber engineer who follows in the path of Hephaestus. Brought to this merry crew in a way of atonement for, shall we say, perhaps getting a little bit too close to the workings of the gods. They are, after all, divine, and perhaps Titus may have overstepped the mark. He's come along to try and make things right and make sure that the will of the gods is maintained. Quite a burly fellow, wearing kind of a metallic toga of a bunch of instruments, as well as some metallic kind of parts of his body that's been replaced as a gift from Hephaestus, as well as his trademark hammer. He is now here to see things through.
Splendid. And also, as well as the more sort of less noteworthy crew, there is also Jason on board, who is a young, idealistic young man who's seeking to reclaim his birthright. The ship also has its first mate, the hunter Orion, who is quite a serious young man who seems to see, as much as his duties on the ship, most of his duties are sort of keeping the captain of the Trelos Cosmos in order and making sure he's not too drunk when he's on duty. So we begin this game as you guys splash down in the Trelos Cosmos in this crystal clear blue ocean on this almost paradise looking world of Harpy. As you arrive on the single large continent on the world, you can see lush green grasslands spreading out a short distance beyond the shining white sandy beach that you've sort of moored alongside. All of the sails are gathered in. The crew are obviously waiting expectantly for orders from their captain. They've weighed anchor. The surface of the ocean here is almost like glass. It's calm, unruffled. There is a beautiful yellow sun shining in the sky. Fluffy white clouds drifting lazily through a cyan blue sky. Over to you guys.
All right. So as the ship comes down to a nice little stop and I make sure everyone's all right, I sort of stretch my arms out. I'm like, all right, Ben, we're here. We've made it. We're on Harpy. We just need to find his prophets, get him on board, and get going, I believe. I turn to the crew and I go, has anyone seen Jason?
One of the crew says, he's below decks, Captain. I'll go and get him. And he runs off below deck. And we'll reappear in a few moments with Jason. So while the crewman has gone to fetch Jason, what are the rest of you up to on deck? Are any of you doing anything particular, making any particular preparations?
I would be trying to deduce. Well, can I make some sort of roll to determine what we know about this planet? Like, is there anything edible on here or that sort of thing?
You most certainly can. You can make me it's a fairly famous planet, so it's only a moderately difficult roll, so you'll need like a +2. You can certainly make me an intellect roll to see if you know anything about it.
Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Oh, there it is, the formula. Right. Okay. Let's see. Intellect. Oh, I'm so smart. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, that's a 2.
Okay, that is absolutely fine. You know that the world of Harpy was once widely settled by people, and there was once a large temple to Zeus, one of the largest temples in the Republic, built on the single continent of Harpy. It used to be ruled over by a king called Phineas, who, as a favoured scion of Zeus, was gifted with the gift of prophecy and foresight. However, he misused it. Although you're not entirely sure how he misused it. The legends are a little bit hazy on that score. However, it's rumoured that Zeus punished Phineas and confined him to this island on the world of Harpy. And since then, fearing the god's wrath, other people have looked at this world in droves to resettle it, effectively leaving Phineas the broken king with no subjects, alone on this world of Harpy.
So it's not so much that the planet became uninhabitable, it's just people left. And
from what you've heard in the legends, I mean, you don't know about it now. I mean, it certainly looks nice, but the planet was reputed to be like a paradise. It was once called the Garden of the Republic. It was said back in the old days when people settled here that if you were hungry on Harpy, you merely needed to stretch out your hand and there would be trees with fruit within easy reach, or you'll be able to pluck grapes to make wine with off the vines. It was such a world of plenty that so many people used to live here.
Right. So I march up to our captain and put my hand on your shoulder and say, Captain, you're muted, by the way, if you were talking.
I wasn't, but keep going.
Yeah. So I say, Captain, while we're here, we should restock or at least fill some of the ship with the plenty of Harpy. It is legendary, and I'm sure that our journey is going to be very long. So,
excuse me, do you mind unhanding me?
I apologize. I did not realize.
Thank you. However, you coming up to me give me a really good idea. Gentlemen, I have an idea. This is the world of Harpy as such. Now would be a really good time for us to restock our stuff. So let's get our things together and go restock everything. Excellent.
You hear a cheer like, "Hooray!" from the crew, and they all start getting their stuff together, ready to go aboard. And
excellent.
Start collecting provisions.
I turn back to him and go, excellent. Thank you for that suggestion. It was a good idea that I came up with.
As you're finishing that discussion, the crewman brings the young Jason up on board, and he says, Captain, I see we've landed. Excellent.
Of course. Only the best for our benefactor. So, where do we go?
If my information is correct, I believe that Phineas dwells within the great temple of Zeus at the centre of this island. It should only take us a couple of days' travel to reach it, and it was supposed to be a magnificent, huge temple to the gods. I suspect we would see it within half a day's walk, if the tales are to be believed.
I'll look around. Ooh, can I do that? I mean, I'm a captain, why not? I'll go, men! A bottle of wine with a captain on the night that we leave, if you are the first to spot the temple to Zeus above us.
At this point, I would like to offer our first compel of this session. As you're talking about locating the temple, Captain, your eyes happen to fall on a sort of large, luscious outgrowing of vines just beyond the beach, and you can see these huge pendulous bunches of these dark purple grapes hanging on it, sort of glistening in the sunlight. And I would like to suggest that as someone who is has a Dionysian taste in pleasure, that potentially this almost ready-made wine just sort of like hanging there just beyond the beach, that you might not be taking the measured approach. You might be like off that boat and be like, got to get me some of that wine.
I'll take it. So put that baby right in there. I'll go, gentlemen, first person to spot the temple gets to spend the night in the captain's quarters, drinking their mind away, and all food and pleasure they wish for. And believe me, I do not come short when it comes to that. However, I'm going to the crew. I believe we need resources, and I'm just going to randomly point something out. How about there? That over there. That.
But by the time you say this, as soon as you've said, you get to spend the night in the captain's cabin, enjoying all the wine and everything, the crew are literally jumping overboard into the shallow water and running up the beach.
Oh, that's
so by the time you're there's something over there, most of your crew are already running up the beach.
I'm I have to do everything myself.
You can hear the sound of their sandals slapping against the sand as they're running out of the water.
I'll let them go on with it. Be like, whoa, at least they'll go find. They will find a plane, come back and let us know. There's no point in us moving if there's grapes over there. So I'm like, well, I think I'm gonna go start harvesting those ones over there. They look. My mouth is watering. Who's with me? I'll look around. Titus?
William will get up.
We have a mission. We should be searching for the temple.
Who said that?
I just sort of look at him. He's addressing me directly.
Excellent. Come with me. Who else will be going along? I look. I go. Theron, are you here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably at the very front of the ship, just peering into the horizon.
Theron, my man, there's no need to worry about that. Come and we get some grapes.
Because he knows the captain, Olin will get off the ship before he gets any good ideas, and go skinny dipping in the water near the coast, near the shore.
Yeah, not a problem. You start bathing in these crystal clear waters. It's extremely refreshing. Obviously, you have a drink of some of the water. The water, you sort of taste it. It doesn't taste like your normal sort of salt water. Obviously, you wouldn't drink salt water. But as you sort of you accidentally get a bit of the water in your mouth as you're bathing, and it tastes oddly sort of refreshing and cleansing. And as you lift up a bit in your hand and drink it, it reinvigorates you. It's almost like the best water you've ever drank. It tastes almost, God's forgive me, divine.
Can he see? Does he know we can see him doing that? Is he going to start bathing, like full on bathing? Because I think we should give the man some privacy.
No, skinny dipping.
And I believe you mean give the woman some privacy.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. So,
I go, look, if one is about to tell a ferryman what they can do in their time, it's not going to be me, it's not going to be today. Besides, we have grapes to find. Now, come along, grab some barrels.
we do not want to risk an ill omen by offending Zeus by tarrying.
We're already on the land, and Venus is serving whatever punishment he's serving is his own business. Grabbing some grapes will not hurt anyone.
Very well, Captain. Very well.
As you're replying very well to the captain, Titus, you're surveying the island, looking over the side.
I'm always surveying. That's correct.
You notice a large, beautifully coloured butterfly lands on the sort of side plank of the ship, like right next to you. I mean, it's like the sort of size of like 2 hands. It's a huge butterfly, brightly coloured. However, as you look at the sort of colours of it, you can't help but be reminded of some of the circuitry patterns on the project that you worked on long ago that you preferred not to speak
That
of.
which should not be named.
Indeed. And for a few moments, it's almost so you can hear the wind whispering the words, Pandora.
You find the gods working in
no one-
beautiful things. It's common. It's common. It's nothing to worry about.
Titus,
Nature. What?
Titus!
Yes, what? Sorry.
focus! Grapes, wine, go!
The void. It has taken it out of me.
Oh, stop being such a child. Listen to me. Theron, you coming?
So what are you doing?
Grab a barrel.
Yeah, I think I'm loading one of our hover chariots because we have those on the ship.
Obviously.
Loading one of those with empty barrels so that we can
And
take it there.
I'm just gonna dive off into the water.
Not a problem. Given the captain's proclivities, there are plenty of empty barrels on board.
Is there any people in our vicinity? Anyone we can see, or like natives?
You can't see any other people aside from your crew. There's a few of them splashing around in the water, refreshing themselves, drinking the water. Some of them are sort of heading towards these fruit trees and these vines.
If I see the first mate, if he's nearby, I would say, far be it from me to give orders in the captain's place, but I would advise, as someone who has travelled, to set a guard on places, even places that look as beautiful as Harpy. We do not know what may wander.
Orion is stood there looking serious, as is typical of him. He's restringing his bow with 1 foot up on the side of the ship, surveying the horizon. He looks at you and he nods, and he turns towards what little of the crew remains, and he says, "You men, myself and you will remain on board the ship. We need to have a guard just in case anything should happen."
You take care of the ship, Orion, and I shall take care of the captain. And I shall want that one job.
He sort of smiles a little bit when you say that. And he says,
He got the better deal by far.
You almost notice his shoulders sag with a little bit of relief when you're like, "Oh, I'm looking after the captain." He's like,
Yeah.
it's like a holiday for him.
And I shall follow on.
You notice the crew that he says, "Oh, you're going to stay behind the boat with me." They're all like, they're obviously looking forward, but they've been a bit slow. They're looking forward to getting onto the island and enjoying it. And he's just like, "Nope, you're going to stay guard." And they're all a bit like, fucking Orion, grumbling amongst themselves, but they do what he says. And you leap over. You can see that Captain Asen has full leapt into the water, and he's now swum up to the shallows, and he's emerging, dripping wet onto the beach, lust for wine in his eyes. Obviously, the hero of the Republic, Theron, has loaded these empty barrels onto one of these hover chariots, and is the gangplank's being lowered so it can go down it.
Yeah, I'm following the captain quite slowly with the hover chariot so the barrels don't fly off. But yeah, I'm skimming the waters like a scooter.
Okay, splendid. At this point, I'm going to ask, can our ferryman, who is still bathing in the water, can you please make me a focus roll to see whether you notice something or not? It's only a difficulty 2 roll. It's a moderately difficult task. Yeah, no problems.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
so as you're sort of just like bathing, you're obviously like taking things in a bit more measured approach. Everyone else is leaping overboard, running for grapes, loading up hover carts, etc. As you're sort of like bathing, you look up and you can just see what appears to be like a flock of birds, like quite far up above, sort of like circling over this area.
Oh, this area or where we believe the temple is?
This area.
Oh, to look up, still kind of letting her hang, glide through the water and washing her forearms and looking at the flock of birds.
You watch it out of the corner of your eye. You see the captain sort of draw level with these vines, with these shoes like pendulous bunches of ripe grapes on them. As you draw level with the grapes, what are you doing, Captain? You can see the hover cars like coming up behind you with Theron on it, these empty barrels on it.
Oh, we gotta test one, see if it's any good. So I'll take a pick of a tiny one and just savor it and just breathe it in and just, and then just take a bite.
You take a bite of this grape, it bursts in your mouth, and the taste of this grape, it's almost finer than any actual wine you've tasted. Ooh. It tastes sublime. It's beautiful. You're almost lost in reverie for a few moments. Leon, as you're bathing, the instant he touches that grape and like pops it in his mouth, you notice these birds that have been sort of like circling around. They start sort of like, almost like dive bombing down towards where he is. They're quite high up, so you still can't make them out at the moment, but they're sort of like zooming down towards where he is.
Oh, he called out, "Captain, look out!" Let's see. Points to the sky, and
you see your naked fireman sort of like still half covered in the water, pointing up in the air above you.
I'll look up, like, what's you on about?
Okay, any of you choose to look up, you can see these like specks in the sky sort of getting closer and closer as they dive bombing down. And as they do, they resolve themselves into these almost like winged humanoid figures that appear to be sort of bombing down towards you with their wings folded behind your back. And as they get nearer, you can hear this.
Theron!
I am drawing the bow.
Okay, that's fine. You've basically got one round until they sort of like get to your level, because they are literally just dive bombing down.
Right.
While he's doing that, Iolin would run up to the shore and run towards them with her rope in her arms.
Yeah, you've got time to join them on the turn. That's not a problem. Okay, Theron.
Yep. So I'm still riding on the beach on top of the hover chariot. I'm going to leap on top of the barrels on the chariot and draw my tachyon bow. The shimmering bowstring comes into being, the shimmering arrow, and I let loose on these harpies.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Oh man, these harpies are pretty hard.
Well, don't mess up. Problem solved. Just roll out. Rule number one in any role-playing game: if things are tough, just roll better.
yeah, just don't suck.
Just don't suck.
Yeah. John, which approach are we going for? What do you think?
I would say you could potentially use force, focus if you're taking a bit more aim. If you're just firing off quickly, haste would be applicable.
I think because there's still some time, they're still up in the air. I think I'm gonna go for my focus at this point. Just taking a good aim and trying to drop them. Yeah. Well.
Okay, are you sticking with your roll? I'm currently beating you by 3.
No, let's see. I think I'm gonna cash in a couple of points. The first one for Athenian warrior philosopher. This is my jam.
Yeah.
I shoot my bow. I did it for like a day straight, and that's why I became famous. So I think I'm going to hit these guys at least somewhat. And then the second was it invoking of aspects? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
I think probably the first time my cybernetic owl snake owl companion or boss is gonna appear, like strike from I think it was in the trees on the beach. It's gonna shoot up and start harassing the bird things, harpies in flight.
Okay, so you're adding
Yeah.
+4, is that correct? Okay. That's so you fire your bow. As these things are dropping down towards you and they're getting closer, you can see them in a little more detail now. And as you can see them, they actually look as though they're sort of white marble statues of incredibly beautiful people. But as they move, you can see sort of like articulated points with what appears to be a shimmering metal between the articulated joints, and they have these large metallic sort of feathered wings stretched out behind them. As you fire your bow, you can take one of them out of action, so describe how that goes down.
Probably my first shot just glances off one of the wings, and there's like a shower of like porcelain feathers, and I think my cybernetic snake owl companion hits the being in the face, wraps its snake tail around its throat, like the face hugger in Alien, and just like sticks to its face and just like picking out his eyes and that sort of thing. And I shoot another one, and it like explodes into pieces.
Okay, indeed, and that's what happens. So, Titus, as you're sort of stood there nearby, the one that has been one of these harpies that has been shot by Theron's magnificent bow shot falls out of the sky and lands with a loud thump in the sand next to you. You can see this cybernetic sort of snake owl companion of Theron's like pulling one of its eyes out. As it does, it like trails wires and sparks behind it. You can see this sort of like this cybernetic harpy effectively sort of broken, destroyed and deactivated lying at your feet. Titus, what do you do?
So this hover chariot thing, is it currently stationary?
It is indeed.
Okay, so I'm going to jump on that. I'm guessing Theron's just on there, or is anyone else actually want to be on?
Theron's on there. He's just like taking his hands off the tiller a bit.
Does anyone want to be
firing
on
his
there
bow.
before I do what I do? That's all I'm saying.
I won't be on there because I'm the one beneath the grapes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do then, is I'm going to shout to the captain while I'm doing this. I did warn you, Captain. We should have not tarried here. And I'm going to go over to the controls of the hover chariot. And what I'm going to do, I'm basically going to try and create an advantage by using my intelligence to try and create like a maneuver. I'm going to like start doing some evasive maneuvers with the hoverboard to give Theron and me a bit more chance of avoiding being targeted by these things.
Yeah, that's fine. Make an advantage roll. It's difficulty 2.
Yeah.
There's nothing impeding your movement.
Yeah. So I'm just sort of fiddling with the controls. Boom.
Okay,
After that.
so you've got a free invoke of this advantage. What would you like to call the advantage?
Chariot sliding. I don't know.
Chariot drifting?
Chariot drifted, yeah.
All right, chariot drift, that'll do.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a free invoke of that. So as you've just finished your heroic bow shot, Theron, the Scion of Hephaestus Titus leaps up next to you, so it grabs hold of the tiller of this hover chariot and begins like jinking about, effectively making it more difficult for them to attack you, presumably.
Yeah. He's a hero after all.
And as he starts doing that, the harpies reach your level, and the area you're in is filled with these shrieking, sort of almost ivory mannequins with these metallic wings. Now they're closer, you can actually see they have like sharp spikes of a similar metal on the ends of their fingers, and they begin hacking and slashing at everyone in the area. Now, since these are a mob of creatures, they're able to attack everyone in their zone. If you have a look at the zone map in Roll20, you are currently in the landing zone. The words in red are sort of aspects that are available. There's no free invokes on them, but they're available to be used. So I'm going to make 4 attack rolls for the Harpies, and then I'm going to ask each of you to make your defense rolls. So, first of all, we will have the Harpies attack on the Ferryman. So if you would like to make your defense roll, please.
That would be a haste, right?
Are you sticking with that roll? I'm currently beating you by 4.
Rather not.
Well, if you've got a fate point and you've got an aspect you can use, you could invoke your fate point for either. You can invoke your aspect with a fate point for either a reroll or a +2.
Okay, can I say because she's running up to the captain, I can invoke Shoreline to say she's not in the middle of the attack?
That's absolutely fine. That's an available aspect to be invoked.
Okay, so I'll put a fate point and that, so I can reroll. That would be better, right?
Yep.
Except in this case.
Or not. Okay, I'm now beating you by 5.
Okay. So can you just keep doing it while you have fate points? Or?
You wouldn't be able to invoke the same aspect, but if there's another aspect you can invoke, you can keep doing different
Okay,
ones.
I'm gonna try with my connection to Hades. I'm neither alive or dead, so they have problem targeting me with the cybernetics.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So are you going to go for a reroll?
Yeah. Okay. I used all my karma for that perception roll. I'm gonna stick with that one.
Okay, so you have taken 4 levels of stress as one of these creatures claws at you with these incredibly sharp metallic claws. So you can either tick off 4 of your stress boxes or you could use your consequences. It's up to you.
Okay, so
obviously stress returns at the end of an encounter.
Okay, so I have 6 stress, so I don't technically need to take it to condition.
No, you could just go, right, I'm ticking 4 stress boxes off, boom. That's that dealt with.
Okay.
The stress may clear, but the shame lasts forever.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Okay, so next I'm going to make the attack roll against Theron. So if you'd like to make your defense roll, Theron.
Yep, and I was thinking Guile, because what I'm going to do is jump in one of the barrels. One of the empty barrels. Just go, whoop!
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, dear. Ah!
We're not rolling very well today, are we?
No. We need to make a sacrifice to Taiki or some shit. Which do I invoke? Well, it's not very heroic, so I can't really invoke that. So,
let me tell the hero, the brave hero of the Republic, how he bravely hid in a barrel of wine.
Well, unless you threw the barrel at the Harpy and caught it in the barrel.
Yeah, I put myself in the barrel and threw myself at the Harpy. No,
It's like Donkey Kong.
I don't really have anything to go for, really. So I guess I'm gonna take 4.
Okay, so you take 4 stress.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now going to do their attack roll against Captain Aeson. So if you'd like to make your defense roll, please, Captain.
Can I go with flare? And by flare, I mean, can I whip off my toga and like basically put it over their heads to try and stop the attack?
You certainly can.
Oh, look at that terrible roll.
Actually, Dennis's expression where he's like, oh yeah, cry me a river.
Should I just go for the stress? I think I'll go for the stress. I'll take the hit.
Okay, so you take 2 stress. So as one of these creatures like lands next to you, it basically rakes your still outstretched arm that you just popped the grape into your mouth. How does the captain respond as these razor sharp claws slice through your bicep?
I start looking at. I look down at my blood. My blood. My blood? And I look up and I scream, "Gentlemen, they're here to take away our grapes and our wine. We will not surrender." And then,
Okay, splendid. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm hoping basically to rally everyone. So I'm sort of like giving a big chant, going, "Everyone, attack!" and sort of like trying to boost the people's emotions up.
Okay, well, we'll deal with that on the next round if you're rolling to create advantage for that. So now I'm going to make the attack roll against yourself, Titus.
Oh, goody.
So
And I get a defense roll of some sort.
you do indeed. Obviously, which approach you're using depends on how you're defending yourself.
I'm actually... I'm going to go with Flair for this. What I'm going to do... Oh, maybe Force. I'm going to try Intimidate. What would be better in that application? Force, right? So I'm basically going to, as it comes at me, I'm just going to turn around while I'm steering this thing, while I'm drifting, and just stare it down. Be like, you dare to touch a sign of Hephaestus. Dare.
Okay,
dare.
make that roll. I'm currently being you sticking with that roll.
Hephaestus, you should give a shit about Hephaestus. I'm just going to take it.
Okay, so 3 stress for yourself.
3 stress, right.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to all make who has the highest haste approach, because that'll be the person going first. Since we're now in more
I'm at 1.
proper combat round.
I have a 1.
I have a 1. We're not very fast.
What about yourself?
My haste is currently 2.
Okay, so Titus, it'll be you.
No, sorry, it's 1. I absolutely 100% like that.
Not very fast.
I'm sorry, everything's a bit blurry right now. Apologise.
Okay, so it's down to you guys. Which one of you wants to go first?
Let me go first because I wanted that bowstring thing. That'll probably help everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd like to create an advantage.
So if you're trying to rally everyone,
I'd like to rally everyone as create an advantage. All right.
Yeah, make your roll. It's only difficulty. It's difficulty 3 because obviously they're a little bit more unnerved by this crowd of things.
I got it on the number.
Okay, so what would you like to call this?
Save the wine.
Okay, so you have Save the Wine with a free invoke. So you've got the Chariot Drift with 1 free invoke and the Save the Wine with 1 free invoke. So who would you like to
I would like to pass it to the ferryman.
Do we still have the Cosmos ride?
No, I think it's just us at the moment at the beach.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay,
ferryman.
so Ayoan is swarmed by these birds and using her rope, her ferryman rope, to kind of swirl around and keep them at bay, while she's trying to focus on see if she can feel the echoes of the dead here, and if she can, I would like to try to scare them off with some ghosts, if that's possible.
Yeah. So are you trying to just purely intimidate them, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like it's a create advantage roll to me. So if you want to decide what sort of approach you, I'm guessing focus from how you described it. Okay, so make your roll.
Can I use the ghost stunt for that? Yeah.
To give you a bonus? Yeah, that's why not.
Hang on. 8. Oh.
Okay, what would you like to call this advantage that you now have 2 free invokes on?
Right off the Harpies.
Okay. So, as one of these creatures heads towards you, these sort of phantasmal figures start to like appearing around you, and at the last moment, the harpy wheels away from you and sort of turns its attention towards other people, seemingly repulsed by these phantasmal figures that are sort of rising from the water like mist around you. Who would you like to go next?
Theron, our hero.
Right. So, So there's a cloud of these people, these monsters just flying everywhere.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed, if you imagine, like, if you've ever seen like a flock of crows when they like fill an area and there's just like blanked out the entire area full of like shrieking birds, it's a similar thing, but obviously they're these strange sort of humanoid, like cyborg style creatures.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite difficult for you to like communicate with other people as well, because as they're attacking, they're emitting these. Although their lips aren't moving, their mouths are open, they're emitting this. It's almost like this incredibly loud, like high-pitched avian screeching.
Right. Which aspects do we have? The pre-invoke ones.
You have a free invoke of Chariot Drift, a free invoke of Save the Wine, and 2 free invokes of Ride of the Harpies.
Finish them.
Kill them all. Right. There's not really a place for focus anymore because I'm hiding in a barrel because these things are trying to take off my head. So but I will continue with the bow antics. I think it's just going to be haste. I'm just going to try and drop as many of them as I can. Just like rapid fire.
Yep, go for it.
Okay. So what happens is I pop out from the barrel, which I had hit completely in. Previously, I pop out, my royal blue robe flowing everywhere in the drift winds. And I just start spinning around like I'm Legolas on crack and shooting these mofos. Let's see how that goes. Okay.
Okay, I'm currently beating you by 1.
Right. So we're going to go for the Chariot Drift. So we'll invoke that. So that's +2. Or yeah. So I'm at 4. And I'll spend my last fate points.
Don't forget there's the free invokes.
Yeah. Well. I guess.
Use them, mate. Don't. I mean.
Yeah.
Like, we've literally got 3. We've got 3 extra invokes. You can probably use one to 2 on the side. Go for it.
Yeah. I was just thinking which one to use, but I think like Save the Wine is because I'm in favor of that. So. We'll use that. That puts me at 6, which would be fantabulous. And
okay, so
I'm just gonna go for the +2 from being an Athenian warrior philosopher as well. So up to 8 then. So legendary.
Okay, you have enough successes to take out the rest of the Harpies, so describe what goes down.
Yep, so I pop back up with indignity. It's just written in my face at having to dip into a wine barrel. And I spin around like a fucking top. And it's just, I sort of disappear because anyone who's looking vaguely in the direction of the chariot is probably gonna go slightly blind from all the flashing that comes from my bow as I just pull it with just semi-divine speed as I spin around, and it's just like minor supernovas just going off, and the chariot just disappears into a ball of white light, and which shoots out every now and then, and I think these harpies start falling to the sandy beach one by one, missing a limb here, wing there, and just sort of there's a whole lot of twitching on the sand after I'm done.
Indeed, and after these flares of energy have ceased, an eerie silence aside from the slight crackle and pop of these ruined harpies that are now strewn across the beach. That's 6 of them strewn across the sands. Bits of circuitry and wires hanging out, and the odd spark of electricity and lightning wrapping around them. But aside from that, the beach falls silent.
Can I approach? I'll approach. I'll approach Theron. I'll slowly, like pulling my toga back on me, and like taking care to walk over the bodies of the harpies. And I sort of look around at all 6 dead ones, and sort of look at him and look down there and go, Do you Theron?
Yeah, it's just sort of. I'm still going like, and my bow is just smoking. There's like heat days coming off of it.
Theron, you're standing in my barrel. Do you mind?
What?
The barrel. Get out of the barrel!
I'm sorry. I toss the bow and I climb out of the barrel. It's just like, whoa.
Don't lose these. We need them. Very important. Everyone all right? Titus?
I shall survive, thank you, Captain.
Wait.
Okay, Titus, you're stood next to the downed body of one of these harpies, as I've described previously. As you're looking at it, you notice that it slowly has started to become transparent, almost as though it's fading away. And as you watch, all the other sort of downed harpies have slowly started to fade away, almost as they're sort of fading out of existence.
I don't know, make a knowledge of some kind of what this means in this universe. Like, is this a Titan thing, a technological thing, or is this like a Hades thing where they're being taken back to the realm of the dead?
Make me an intellect roll. The difficulty is 3.
I think I know things.
Okay, you know that the rumours of this island were that a person was confined here by Zeus as punishment, and obviously these things, you can still see like the lightning flickering on their broken circuits. It's not a great leap to assume that perhaps they were sent by Zeus as like instruments of his divine punishment.
We probably shouldn't stay here long.
It's at this point. Sorry.
Every action we take is an affront to Zeus if these things have attacked us. We are being punished.
Everyone picks up one of the fading gears of the harpy.
As it fades away into nothingness.
Elliot, you're right.
You pick up one of these intricate like brass cogs, and like I say, it's slowly becoming more transparent as you're looking at it. But it is just this like small, perfectly formed, intricate brass cog.
Why do you think it's Zeus?
The stories I've heard, obviously I've not been to Harpy before, but the stories I've heard that these creatures were punished by Zeus. They sent to us as a warning. Perhaps these grapes are his. My good captain. I'm sure they'll taste fantastic.
I sort of go for it and go, Elian, are you right? I sort of like look her over and then realize she's mostly naked, and then I am like turn red and turn around and go, Elian, are you all right?
Yeah.
Excellent. You should probably if you could
I'd take 3 like social stress damage just watching this entire
you could just put some barrels, wine. Yes, let's get some more wine. Wine is good. Wine's great.
As you say this, the last of these creatures fades away entirely from existence. The only sign that they existed are the injuries that you bear and the depressions in the sand where their bodies landed after Theron's barrage of bowfire.
Okay. Iolin will beat out the sand from her robe and put it on.
As you're all stood on the beach, you see some of your men returning towards you, heading over this sort of like this rocky, grassy field that's beyond the beach. As they get a bit nearer, one of them says, "Oh, Captain, we think we found the temple."
Oh, I'm like, distraction. Thank goodness. Thank the Lord. Excellent. Where is it?
Over in that direction, he says, and he points behind, like in the direction they've just come from.
How many days travel?
He says, a day's travel at most. once you head over that small hill there, you'll be able to see it. It truly is a magnificent temple, although it appears to be in ruins. It's still a large, impressive building.
Excellent. You've done great work.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain.
Now help us get these damn grapes off this wall. I nearly died for them. They better be good. Actually, they're fantastic. And everyone back to the ship. We're going to have a meeting.
Okay, one of your men who's like carrying one of these barrels heads towards the vines, and as he's like reaching his hand out towards these grapes, there's an ominous in the air.
It's at this point that I definitely go, oh, wait!
Oland
He
goes on.
stops with his hand like that, just about to like grab one of these grapes.
Why are they still here? We killed them. What? Oh. Leave the grapes. I now ban all people from taking. Don't put your hand. Put your hand down.
If you're sure, Captain.
We have to leave the grapes alone. No man is to touch any food on this island for as long as we're here.
Are you sure you want to leave those grapes alone, Captain?
So
All right.
They are the fruit of Dionysus himself.
All right. No man's supposed to touch anything on here today. When we're leaving, we are grabbing the grapes on our way out.
Captain, could I have one of your
Fake points.
amphoras?
Yep.
What am I? What now?
One of your amphoras, the large clay pots that the urns are normally used to hold wine.
Oh, yes. Give me is there any empty cliphoras? Are there any? I'm sure that. Give me 1 in 5 seconds. Oh, right. There you go.
I'm thinking we will always have a lot of empty. Okay, she takes it and goes down to the shore and fills it up with water.
Mm-hmm. You fill it with this crystal clear, sparkling water.
She looks at the captain and then he probably wouldn't drink it.
And I will get the men to head back towards the ship to have a meeting.
Is Theron
Okay.
still in anger mode? Or has he calmed down?
Theron, have you calmed down, or are you still like, I've got to find things to shoot?
I'm probably smoking a bit, so I'm just sort of like tossing water in my face in the shoreline, going like, not again, not again.
As you're doing that, your cybernetic owl companion Orbos lands on your shoulder, and you're surprised to note that as it lands on your shoulder, it's still actually holding
The eye.
the sort of plucked out eye of one of these creatures in its mouth. The eye doesn't appear to have faded away.
Okay, so I look at it as it lands, and then what do you have there? And I pluck the eye.
You see a very human-looking eye, but it has like wires trailing out of the back of it.
So I look into it with one of my own, trying to figure out if there's like, is it still working?
As you look into the eye, you notice that the pupil eye dilates slightly, as though it's like focusing on you.
Huh. And I stand up with Orbos on my shoulder, and I raise my hand and I go, "Son of Hephaestus, there is something you should see here. I am not sure what this is, but I think you should look at it."
I shall trundle over and have a gaze at this thing.
Okay, he hands you this quite human-looking eye. As you look at it, you can actually see that it's not human. It's like an intricate sort of glass assemblage, but it has these wires trailing out of the back of it instead of almost like veins, but made out of flax and wire. Again, as you hold it, you see the pupil dilate slightly, as though it's now.
But it's
focusing
not
on you.
disappearing.
No.
I propose that perhaps the manner of this thing's demise might have stopped it from moving on. Does your creature have some kind of ability? Ellen? Sorry, Theron. Too many ons.
Orvos has, well,
He doesn't have any Titan technology in him, does he?
no. That is
Quirker.
forbidden by
It is indeed.
all good people with good sense. Would stay away from such things.
And you are a man of good sense, of course. Being
Perhaps
hero of the Republic.
Yes, and I probably have the most sense in the Republic as well.
I'm sure you do.
Olian will take the eye and look at it.
Okay, you see the eye as I've described. Again, it sort of focuses in on you as you take it off, Tidus.
Does it look dead to you, Elon? I know everything looks dead to you, but can you sense any life from it? It'll clarify.
I'm guessing it feels artificial.
It does. You get the feeling that these things that this eye came from, like yourself, they are neither alive nor dead.
No, it's not like you. It's not dying.
Mm-hmm.
But neither is it alive. Is it alive? But it has to be. And it can Titan tech, right?
Possibly. If so, it should be destroyed. But Zeus would not do such a thing. He would not create Titan technology.
I guess that's your thing. And she hands the eye back to. What was your name? Titus? And she hands the amphora to Theon. Yeah, taste this. It's filled with water from the sea.
What? Seawater?
Yeah, taste it. Let's see. Holds it up.
Why though?
It doesn't taste how it should.
Do you often drink seawater?
No, I mean, no. Sometimes we'll land and the sea will splash and no.
Right then. Well, I dip my pinky in it and give it a taste.
Okay, you taste this water. It doesn't taste like seawater at all. It's immensely refreshing.
This is not seawater.
It's a brave man hiding in a barrel and going like, "Keep."
Do you actually say that? Or?
No.
I was hoping the captain was going to jump out of that barrel.
Yes, that's it. It tastes slightly sweeter.
I must study this later.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask our intrepid captain, can you please make a roll to see how effective your order to not touch the delicious food
Not
and
a
water
problem
was?
at all. I'm going to say that my order will mostly be put down on force. Is that all right?
That's fine. It's only difficulty 2, because obviously they've all seen the
Fair
Harpies
enough.
attack.
Oh my god, that was terrible. That was bad. Should I stick with it for the fun times, or should I spend a fate point on re-rolling that? Yeah, it's the first adventure. I don't really want people to die to Harpies, so I'll spend the fate.
I don't have any more fate points to spend on killing
If
Harpies.
this roll fails, it's up to fucking them. I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Okay, so a fate question, John. The
Go ahead.
the aspects or invokes we put on the scene. How long does they remain?
Yep. They last for the scene.
So would Ride of the Harpy still be there?
No, because the Harpies effectively.
Okay, so it's bound to that condition. Okay.
Okay, so most of the men appear to, well, pretty much all of the men appear to be like taking your orders to heart, and they've all retreated back to the ship. So we fade out, and we cut to you guys gathered in presumably the captain's cabin on board the ship, having this meeting. Go for it, Captain. The floor is yours.
All right. I've called you all here because I feel not only are you my more trusted enemies, but I fought in battle with at least two of you, and one of these are foemen. So I have a proposal. Above those mountains, Jason, is where we believe we will find the temple. I believe the way this area is and how dangerous it is, with the food that we cannot touch, we should not linger here too long. So I propose a small team: me, you, of course, Jason, and a few of my trusted men. And a few of my untrusted men. I think Thaddeus, Theron, you're not doing anything right now, are you?
Not especially, no.
I am at yours to command, Captain.
Jason, why don't we travel with these two and our ferryman? Because someone who sees to the dead could probably help us in a way that I have discovered to be very important. And we head across that mountaintop, head inside, and see what we can find.
I think that sounds like a very wise plan, Captain.
Of course it is. I came up with it. In which case, what time is it now? The sun setting?
The sun's just sort of like dipping a bit low on the horizon. You've probably got a couple of hours before it starts getting really dark.
It's a day's travel to get there, and I'd rather not travel in this land I don't know at night. Shall we sleep on it and travel when the sun rises tomorrow?
Why not? I think it says Jason. I think as long as we set a strong watch during the night, we don't want to be taken unawares by any more of those creatures.
Don't remind me. Excellent. I'll have the men do watches overnight. Everyone's dismissed.
Everyone starts filtering out of your cabin and heading back to their posts.
Elian?
Yes, Captain.
Are you alright? I was a little worried that attack may have done something to you.
No, it seems it's mostly scratches.
And obviously now that encounter is finished, you can all recover your stress. So like I say, most of you are sporting, including like Jason, are sporting minor scratches, but you bandage them, you wash them out, etc. There's nothing too damaging been done to you. You were probably quite lucky, to be perfectly honest. If Theron hadn't taken them all out so quickly, they could have, with a sharp claws, quite conceivably have done you some serious damage.
He has a good shot with that bow. I'll give him that. I'm going to hold on to this eye for a little while. I'm going to just put it on my belt.
Yep, not a problem.
I'm going to grab the man who found the temple. We're going to get drunk tonight.
He seems quite amenable to that. Okay, so you're all resting for the evening and you're heading out in the morning, is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm drinking my fair share of the water, the miracle water that is apparently the sea in here. I'm doing some like experiments, mixing some random stuff into it, making a potion of some sort, drinking it, seeing if it affects me differently.
It doesn't appear to have any sort of undue effects on you or anything sort of out of the ordinary, beside from sort of like quenching your thirst and making you feel quite refreshed. You suspect after sort of like an evening of like experimentation on it that a person drinking these miracle waters wouldn't have to drink as often because it's so refreshing, it hydrates you so much.
Yeah, I probably bottle away or like put my wineskins full of it. This Poseidon-blessed water.
Indeed. The rest of the night passes fairly uneventfully. Is there anything in particular you guys want to do during the evening, besides obviously get some rest, get your watches, etc.?
I'll spend some time on deck, and actually what I'll be doing is, since this is the first time I've been to Harpy, I'll be taking like some sketches and things, just of the local flora and things. It's good to learn about the works of the gods. You know, it's nice when you go somewhere new.
Yeah, as you're sort of sketching the various plants, the world does indeed seem to live up to its sort of paradise-like reputation in myth and legend. Everywhere you look, you can see verdant vegetables, grapes, fruit of various different types. It's extremely healthy, despite the obviously the attack of these like harpies, everything appears almost like an untouched paradise here.
So it should. You cannot improve on the divine. It is as it
Indeed.
should be.
And if no one has anything else they wish to do, the next morning begins to dawn. The sun rises over the horizon, casting its golden light over this Eden-like island that you're moored next to. You see the flowers beginning to open on the field beyond the beach in the morning, this carpet of colour that spreads out across the lush green grassland.
I stumble out of my room, hangover as always, not enough sleep as always. Sort of like hair of the dog, wineskin in my hand. Go, okay, let's get going.
As you stumble up onto the deck, Jason stood there with the gangplank already down, like his foot up on the deck, and he's like, "Morning, Captain!"
I hate you so much. I mean, good morning, Jason. So good to see you full of energy this early.
Indeed, and who could not be on such a beautiful, God-given morning as this? And he sort of gestures at this beautiful blue sky that's becoming ever deeper cyan colour as the sun rises.
Hades, please take him. Please just take him anywhere, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I just can't deal with it. Where's the rest of the crew? Oh, they're all lazing about, so it's good I'm up early. Oh, my head.
Indeed, as you're saying that, the crewman who you've been sort of like celebrating with the night is pretty much like crawling out of your cabin behind you, like trying to crawl towards his own bunk.
I'm like, I give him a kick, like, you heard the man. Up, rise and shine. Gotta get the energy to tomorrow. And today.
He doesn't even have the energy to like move out of the way of your kick. He's just like,
all right, someone go wake Thaddeus and Elon and Theron up. We have to get going.
okay, the rest of you are all awoken by like crew members like sort of hammering on the timbers next to where your bunks are set. Like, Captain wants you all up on deck.
Excellent. I shall be with him momentarily.
Yep.
Orion will linger a little bit longer and then slowly move up on deck.
I'll go get Alien personally.
Okay, yeah, so unlike the rest of the people who just woke up by like crew members like hammering on like timbers near their hammocks, you are actually well, since you're waking early, why don't the two of you role play this sort of scene out?
Alien?
She has been meditating. That's how she sleeps.
Alien, may I come in?
Captain, yeah.
I sort of open the door to see where she is, and I see her in her meditation stance, and I sort of sigh slightly, and I'm like, I'm glad I caught you awake. We are just about to head off. I was hoping you would join us.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yes, that would be that would be great if you could.
Well, are you sure we are the questing types? I mean, the other the great hero of the Republic and the great Smith have.
Yeah, no one actually knows what Thaddeus does, to be honest. I'm not quite sure, but he's on a board. That's what matters. He put a stupid crowd on my ship, and I hate him for it. More importantly, I feel that your input would be good, and I want to make sure I keep an eye on you, as you're very important to my crew. As such, I'd much make sure that you're within my eyesight of all times.
I should think something would happen here.
Your conversation is broken by the sound of Jason up on deck shouting, "Captain, I think you better get up on deck."
On my way. Yes, I do think it's a good idea. Excuse me just one second. I'll be. Just get ready. Just come on board. That's an order. I can do that. I'm a captain. Guys, on the door, and I run up.
Okay, you all converge on the deck, and as you do, you see the entire deck of the Trelos Cosmos is covered in these large, brightly coloured butterflies.
Huh. Well, they're less dangerous than Harpies. Does anyone know if this is normal?
I wouldn't put it past this world.
I don't
It
think
seems the very sea here is strange and blessed, I suppose. So
The noise of you all coming up on deck, obviously including yourself, Titus, disturbs these butterflies, and this large cloud of them flutters up from the deck of the Trelos Cosmos. And as they sort of spiral around and head into the air, for a few brief moments, they seem to form the shape of... It almost looks like a woman made out of this cloud of butterflies, and then they separate and all sort of flutter away.
she's an omen.
Do I recognize the woman? Oh dear.
does her name start with a P?
What beautiful butterflies. Looks like the gods have blessed us after all.
Starts with P. Starts with P.
I will stare, but I shall say nothing this time.
I think we'll be on normal, Captain.
It sounds like the gods have blessed us with a good travel. They've sent us a beautiful image of an incredibly captivating woman. As such, we must definitely be on course. Right. Ready to have our chariots. We're on our way.
Okay, you all pile into these 3 hover chariots and begin heading northwards. As you're heading beyond the beach, you move on to this sort of luscious green field with the odd sort of dotting of like boulders and rocks here and there, but they don't cause you any problems because of the hover chariots. As you're heading across Tidus, though, you notice that as you're heading across the rocks, they're not actually so much just like nunks of metal ore, sort of like jutting out of the ground.
Interesting.
As you pass, occasionally the sunlight will catch one of them and it illuminates them this in various shades of bronze, silver, gold.
Extremely pretty, but dangerous. Do not know what this earth hides. I advise caution, Captain.
You advise caution all the time, Thaddeus. We'll be fine.
Was I wrong about the Harpies?
I never said you were wrong. However, I said that you still advise caution all the time. At some point, you will be wrong. And probably now, right now.
Okay.
Look, I'm the captain, okay? Take my orders.
As your wish. As my command, Captain.
Okay, you all travel northwards for about a day, although you make fairly good time, so you actually shaved a little bit off that time. And as you crest this small hillock described by your men, you see this huge columned white building rising many feet up into the air. You can see that some of the columns have collapsed and are lying in ruins, but the building still looks magnificent and is adorned by statues of the various gods. You can see a statue of Zeus holding a thunderbolt aloft. There is a statue of Poseidon with his mighty trident. Obviously, there's no statue of Hades for obvious reasons, but you can see statues of other gods dotted about. There is a statue of a beautiful woman that you might take to be Aphrodite. You can also see Theron. You can see a statue of Athena, resplendent in her armour, holding her spear and shield, looking very regal. So most of the statues have like a bit of moss growing on them. They've obviously not been tended to or cleaned for some time. But these statues are huge. We're talking like the statues are like 15 feet tall. And beyond them, you can see there's almost like Parthenon-like structure that appears to have fallen into slight ruin and disrepair. And you believe it must be surely the Temple of Zeus.
Gentlemen and ladies, I don't hold me back on it, but I do believe we have arrived at our destination. Let's find a place to park.
Yep, there's plenty of open space. You pull the hover chariots up. Are you heading into the temple? Like say, there's no doors or such. It's just like a column, sort of open air building.
I'm scanning about for any sign of recent activity.
Okay, as you're looking about, you can actually see what appears to be the remnants of food, like bread, grapes, wine, but it all appears to be like sort of slightly rotten and spoiled, and it's all thrown around as though someone had just like knocked a table over and like spilt food everywhere.
Perhaps there was a party recently. Did your men follow your orders, Captain, or did they?
I mean, how recent spoiled is it?
It looks as though it's certainly been lying here for a few days, at least.
Did we do a head count when we were back on the ship? We haven't got anyone missing, have we?
Not that I know.
You didn't do an exact head count, but you be sure that no one's missing. You've certainly not been made aware of it.
Perhaps Phineas had guessed before we got here.
Did we bring any gifts? I mean, I don't think we should enter a temple of the gods without bringing offerings.
I looked down at my wineskin and I sort of like pushed it a little bit closer to me, going, "Nope, no gifts, none that I can think of." Listen, I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's go in and take a look at this Phineas person, and we'll have a conversation. And if we must come up with gifts, we can do it when we get there.
I'm sure that Jason has brought something with him. He would have prepared.
Yes, Jason, you've thought about gifts, haven't you?
Well, yes, I do have some offerings in my satchel, out of respect for the gods. A few small statues, some bread.
Excellent. Jason speaks to the ship. It's perfect. Let's go.
Okay, as you head into the centre of this Temple of Zeus, you can see what appears to be what must have once been a large stone table, although it looks as though it's been knocked over and a large crack runs down the centre of it. As you head in there, you can see an old man with sort of grey wispy hair and a long wispy beard, sort of wearing little more than tattered rags. He's lying on the ground, groaning softly, his arms outstretched as though he's fallen, and just beyond his right arm is what appears to be a gnarled walking stick, just out of his reach. He's lying on the ground, like his face down to the floor.
I'm like, well, don't just stand there. Help the man.
Jason's already running over to him to try and help him up. You see the stone seats where once this table must have been, and Jason starts helping the old man into one of these seats until puts the stick back in his hands.
There we go. Are you all right, sir? I say as I stride on over, still nursing the hand rubber.
As he looks at you, you can see from his entirely white eyes that he must be blind. He just sort of looks around in the direction of your voice as you speak, and he's like, "Who's there?"
It is Aeson, son of Cosmos. I'm the captain of the ship Telekosmos, and we're sailing across looking for a man named Phineas. It wouldn't happen to be you, would you?
Yes, that is how I was once known.
Ah, I believe we found our man. Phineas, I have stretched across the galaxy to find you. It is a pleasure to meet you.
He sort of laughs a little bit when you say that, but it ends in a racking cough. And he says, "Yes, the gods told me that you were coming, that I was to answer any of your questions, but the gods have pushed me too far, and I will only answer your questions if you can pay my price." As he says it, there's a loud rumble of thunder across the sky. He shakes his fist, staring blindly at the sky, and he's like, "You roar away all you like, Zeus. You can only push a man so far. Let the ground swallow me, but I will not answer any questions until my price is met." He carries on sort of ranting at the sky. He's like, "Yes, I was a sinner. I never sought to hide it. But did I sin every day? Then why must you punish me every day, Zeus?" And then his strength seems to fail him, and he sort of
give us a moment. I sort of turn towards the crew and go, Jason, we didn't say anything about doing any kind of deal or doing a favor. This is new.
I only know what the legends have told me about this place. I know that Phineas is supposed to have the gift of prophecy, at which point Phineas sort of pipes up and says, "Yes, I have the gift of sight, and I misused it for my own ends, and now I'm punished most cruelly by the gods." And he shakes his fist at the sky again.
Well, as long as there's no delay, I'm sure we'll be fine. I look at the rest of them. Everyone agree? As long as there's no delay, we can do this?
Well, obviously, there will be a delay, right?
Well, no, as long as it's not more than a few days. Every day that we take is people dying, and I have a reputation to uphold as a decent captain.
We should hear what he wants first, I suppose.
That is a terrible idea.
As you say that, Titus, Phineas sort of reaches out in your direction, and he says, "Give me your arm, Titus. I can't. I'm afraid I can't see you. The gods have blinded me."
I'll reach out and give him my arm.
Look, Captain,
he sort of takes hold to show himself where you are.
Yeah.
Of course, foresight. I should have known.
And he says, yes, every day a banquet is laid out on these tables, the food of the gods, but every time I try and reach for it, those damn creatures appear and destroy it, and I'm forced to survive, if you can call it that, on what scraps they leave. If you can free me from these harpies, then I will tell you what you wish to know.
Well, we can free you. Roland looks at the captain. I mean, he's an old man, clearly beyond his time.
I don't think we're thinking the same thing of freeing. More importantly, all you want is a good meal, right?
A meal and freedom from these damn creatures that haunt me. As I've said, yes, I sinned, but how long does a man have to suffer to pay for a single indiscretion? Oh, Captain Aeson, the gods are cruel indeed to have treated me thus.
So let's free this poor old man.
Define free.
Well, he can leave the halls of Zeus and enter the warm comfort of Hades.
He needs to tell us what we need to know before we do anything of the sort. And the last thing I want to do is annoy another god in this way. So let us not speak of freeing him and send him to Hades just yet. I look at the rest. I look at it to go, do you have any ideas how we can keep these harpies away from this man so he can feast?
Well, we would need to find their nest, one presumes, and destroy it. And John, we can see the mountains, right? From here. Yep. And I point my tachyon bow towards the mountains. I wager it's somewhere up there.
A hunt, then.
Again, forgive me, Captain, but if Zeus places the feast on the table and sends the Harpies, wouldn't that annoy him?
Yes, but at least then we don't have to kill a man.
Jason looks shocked as though he's only just realised what the two of you are talking about. And he says, surely you're not suggesting that we slay this poor ragged man? I mean, hasn't he suffered enough?
Exactly.
Like I said, none of the above. Let's leave it for now. I'd much rather insult Zeus by destroying his harpies way better than killing the man himself. What am I doing?
The name of your new aspect.
What am I doing?
Okay. Well, while you're having to think about that, I'm just going to switch the light on here, guys.
Go on, it's a bit dark, isn't it? All right. We've just been given options given to us by the fantastic and incredible Theron, as always. We find a harpy's nest and we simply stop them from spawning.
I would not worry over much about the great Zeus becoming irate over the fact that we dispatched his harpies. Zeus's anger is legendary, but his focus is fickle. It is likely that great Zeus no longer remembers Phineas and whatever sins he has committed. And as I am not struck dead by lightning bolts.
Yeah, you do wait for a few moments, you're like. but no thunderbolt descends from on high and reduces you to ash or anything like that.
The gods sent us on this mission, and the gods know we're coming. This is just a consequence of what has happened. The punishment will not be on us. We are just doing what we can to save the people of Athens. What should be done is stopping these harpies. I like the idea of going to their nest and stopping them there. If you can locate it, be more precise, and tell us how long it will take us to get there, we can ride up on the chariots, get to the nest, hopefully drive them out and drive them away, and good old Phineas here can eat.
At this point, Phineas says, well, if you need to to find the Harpies. I can certainly tell you when they'll appear. The moment I reach for any of the food over by that table, they'll descend on this place.
So there comes the second option. We can just stop the Harpies for one day, allow them to eat, not pissing off any of the gods, or we could go to their nest and stop them for all time. Which one do you two want to do?
I'm in favor of the nests. It
Thaddeus?
will lift us up. Songs will be sung about us destroying the nest.
If we survive.
I like the idea of the hunt. However, I wouldn't say that I know Zeus well, but from hearing his workings, I don't know destroying the nest would prevent the Harpies from reappearing. Something about their nature, I mean, I reckon that perhaps they have a way of returning.
Elian?
Well, I think the better solution is to give this man peace.
Good point. Jason,
Yes, Captain.
what would you suggest? You are part of this crew after all.
Well, much as I am one who believes in the gods, and I would not wish to anger them, I don't believe it is just to leave this poor person suffering. Surely he's, given how old the legends are, surely he's paid for whatever crime he committed now.
There is something else I could potentially do, Captain.
Oh.
I do know something of the machinations of the gods. I have a spare eye here. I could return his sight to him, potentially. With the blessing of Zeus, maybe. At least allow the man to defend himself.
As he was given the gift of prophecy, the gift of foresight by Zeus himself, you now propose to give the man sight with the eye of the harpy, also created by Zeus?
Well, I was going to first ask Zeus to cleanse this thing of any taint.
But wouldn't that be heresy? What you're suggesting? It gazes over towards you.
It is rather beside the point, though, regardless.
I think we should offer the man some wine, bathe him, make a nice funeral, and send him off.
All right, decision is made. We are going to the nest. We'll go to the nest, drive them out from there, then he can feast until Zeus decides to send the Harpies back.
Very well.
We find the net. I feel like a longer period of a break would work better than a shorter one in this case. Because as Jason said, even though it's not our place to tell whether God should punish someone or not, let's give the man his just desserts and allow him to eat a bit longer than a few days, at least until we leave. After that, Zeus can just bring the Harpies back. And of course, I also don't have a wife to come randomly kiss me halfway through my game, so I'm going to sit here and feel sad about it.
Sorry, I'm coming down for Dragon Meat, Lloyd. Okay, sure, it's fine.
Yay!
James Raggy will probably do as well. Or you will, because...
All right, let's get in the chariots, let's go up to the nest, and let's drive these things out.
Okay, so you all climb in these hover chariots. You ride north for a few hours, and the ground starts to become more hilly, more uneven. You're having to take it a little bit more slowly so as not to unbalance these hover chariots. Then as you reach the start of these steep mountains that reach high up into the sky, you can see clouds gathered around their summits and what looks to be the hint of white snow clinging to their peaks. You realise that you're not going to be able to take the hover chariots up the mountains. It's going to be far too steep and uneven.
Oh, no one told me to be climbing. Well, change your mind. We shall go home. Nope, not climbing. Way too tired. Time to go, everyone. Let's get them. You guys aren't moving. Why aren't you moving? Are you serious? You want to climb this mountain?
The path of the gods is often harsh
Oh!
and steep. But as men and women of virtue, we must not shrink in the face of adversity.
I don't have enough.
Jason nods approvingly.
Theron makes an excellent point, and I clamber off.
Oh, fine. We'll climb the Dawn Mountain. All right.
Plus, we may be able to approach these Harpies' nests quieter without the sound of the engines.
Get the claws ready. Let's climb.
Okay, so I'm going to ask each of you just to make me a single climbing roll. It's going to be a focus-based roll. The difficulty is going to be 4.
Oh.
All right.
Obviously, this is an extremely difficult task because of the mountain being so steep and jagged, hence the difficulty 4.
I haven't exercised in a while, okay.
Oh, I'm so tired.
The workshop, right, is on ground level. This doesn't require any stairs.
Okay, so we just need Theron to make his roll now.
Yeah, sorry. Which
How was
roll
the blind guy the best? Right, I swear.
It's a focus roll, difficulty 4.
Right on the money.
Well, the hero makes it.
Okay, so you're laughing, Theron. What about the rest of you? Are you sticking with your roll?
I am definitely sticking with my roll because I am like, oh, it's too high.
I don't have any applicable aspects in this particular moment in time. So
Yeah, neither do I.
Unless the
Straight up, I
mountains,
nobody asked for climbing mountains.
unless this mountains are tightened, then otherwise we're just screwed.
Okay, so as you're all climbing up, are you sticking with your roll, Alien?
Yeah, I was just curious. Are we in the mountains or in?
You're basically climbing.
Maybe
up
we
these
should go
steep
back and get the hopper
mountains.
boats.
Okay. Yeah. I can't really think of any way of not falling.
Okay, so as you guys are climbing the mountains, Theron, you have no problem whatsoever. Jason seems to be all right. The two of you are scaling it quite quickly. You're both fairly athletic. However, the rest of you will take stress due to various like falls, trips, knocks, etc. you take on the way up. Alien, you managed to get away with just like a few scrapes. You take 1 stress. Titus, you have a couple of like sort of quite serious falls where the only reason you're probably not dead is because like the others helped you out. You take 4 stress. Now we come to like the captain who's like hung over as has like so many falls. It's like unbelievable. He seems to spend more time falling than he does actually climbing. You take 5 stress. Captain.
Get to the top. I just lie there like, I'm never doing this again.
You climb to the top. The captain and Titus are like covered in scratches and bruises and bits of dried blood. Jason and Theron absolutely fine, still in their oiled, excellent physique that they have going on for them. Alien has like a couple of like sort of flavour scratches, nothing too serious. And as you like climb up to the summit of this mountain, the air's quite thin up here. You can see the clouds around you. It's quite cold. There's snow on the top of the mountains. The captain pretty much like collapses into the snow like, as that reaches the summit. You're not feeling too clever yourself, Titus. Obviously, Alien and Theron, you're pretty much good to go. As you reach the top of this mountain, you can see what appears to be a small group of statues, which look very similar to the Harpies, but they're all stood like their arms folded over their chest and their wings folded behind them. Their sort of heads lowered. They appear to just be stood on the summit of this mountain, or in some sort of inert state, you might think, Titus.
Waiting for someone to take a bite or something. Do I still have the eye? Is it still moving about?
If you hold it up, it sort of focuses in on you, but obviously it can't move because it's not in a socket.
Okay.
All right, Titus, this is your part. Go do that thing you do with the thing. I'm just going to lie here in the snow for a while. You go on ahead.
Does it appear to be any buildings or anything up here?
There don't appear to be any buildings up here.
I'm going to hand the captain his wineskin.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I'll just stay here for a while. Listen.
Okay, as he sort of tips this wine up and this life-giving elixir falls into his mouth, the statue nearest to you, like with an ominous creaking sound, like just turns its head.
I just stop. I stop the part. I'm like, this is the worst planet.
Can you stop?
I definitely stop. When I was like,
Can you stop?
Are you going to stop drinking that wine?
Okay, I guess I keep going. I'm good. Like, oh, it's coming towards me. How crazy.
You're welcome, John.
10 fate points I know what to do with, guys.
There's a fate point for you. Okay, so you look at it and you're like, oh, but I really need that wine. As he does so, again, there's this creaking noise, and the wings of these harpies unfold, and slowly, as though they're sort of powering up, they start to move towards you guys. They're moving a lot slower. They don't seem to be well suited to ground movement.
How many harpies are there?
6
Is that quite a lot?
Maybe it's time to do your thing. Sidious? Thaddeus?
My thing?
Isn't artificial constructs your thing?
Indeed, but they technically are the workings of Zeus, so...
And at that point, with a loud screech, the harpies leap forward to attack you.
Right, hammer's out. Okay. This.
Hammer time.
Hammer time.
Okay. So I'm going to make an attack roll against each of you from the harpies. Then we'll go into normal movement. Okay.
Can I say that the Can I give the captain like I don't know, an advantage to avoiding the harpies if I'm stood over him trying to like defend him with a hammer?
You can make a roll for that when it gets to your move.
Okay.
Effectively, this is their like surprise action because they've suddenly gone from like we're moving a little bit to just like attack.
Right. Okay.
And I'll see you guys were sort of like talking while they were doing that. So first of all, I'm going to make my attack roll against a Leon.
So
The one advantage you guys do have in this situation is their attack rolls aren't as high because they're not flying.
So I need to pick something to defend with. Is that correct?
That's correct. And you need to beat my mighty roll of 0.
Okay. And force would be if she tries to beat them off. I think she will try to beat them off then.
Okay.
Yes, she can run.
Yeah, not a problem. As these harpies leap forward, describe how you're fending them off, Leon. Which you do successfully.
Okay, as the leap, and unlike the last time where she got caught more on guard, she will shield her body with her arm and kind of like when they dive in, she'll punch back and kind of make them go back.
Indeed. There's a screech as one of the harpies reels away as you like smack it in the face. And it's like and reels back from you. Okay, now I'm going to make the attack roll versus the hero of the Republic, Theron.
All right, Theron, go be heroic. I believe in you.
Okay, so I was probably keeping my eye on these guys, so I'm gonna go with focus. So I looked at them moving slowly, and when they spring into action, I'm already anticipating that. So let's see how that goes. Meh. Okay, I'll take a scrap.
Okay, yeah, so you take a single point of stress as one of them like dives towards you, its claws reaching out for your heart. You sort of throw yourself to one side and it just shallowly scrapes across your chest. Okay, now the attack roll on our intrepid captain.
All right. I'm gonna see it coming. I'm still drinking, so like, Bukuna still kind of like put my hand out and like hold it there. So I'm gonna go force and hopefully don't fuck the roll. Okay, that was incredible. John,
Describe what happens.
Well, before I do, I have a stunt. As long as I have a drink in my hand, whenever I defend successfully against an attack, the enemy takes a difference in the roll in stress.
Yeah.
So I'm charging it. I grab him. I'm like, you will not touch my wine. And as he does, I sort of like grab it by the wings and I like, throw it behind me.
Oh, I was so hoping you were going to feed it some wine and make it hate itself.
There's a loud screech as this thing like hurtles through the air and disappears from view over the edge of the mountain. Okay, so the final attack roll against Titus.
Bring it. Yeah.
It's all right, Matthew. Since they're harbingers.
Oh, come on. You can add a +2 to that.
I gotta laugh at that.
I've still only got a 1, so
I'm going to try and block as I'm getting as the hammer's sort of forming. I'm going to try and block with it as it attacks using force.
go for it.
If I get a -1 here, I'm just going to walk away. Walk away, guys. Yeah.
I'm so laughed. You got a -1.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, because they are I'm going to spend a fate point to give them a +2.
All right, John, you want to play that game? Right. So I am currently wielding the hammer of Hephaestus, so I'm going to add a +2 as well.
Not a problem.
Take my
Describe
fate
how
point.
you fend off this harpy.
So yeah, I assume it's about to come in for the captain, but at the last second it sort of dives up to try and attack me. It comes upwards, and I just managed to get the hammer out in time and just bat its head away and knock it out of my way.
It lets out a screech as you basically like parry it and sort of fling it to one side. Okay, we're now in effectively combat rounds, guys. So since you're on equal haste, it's up to you guys. Who wants to go first?
Like I said, I'm going to stand over the captain because he's currently on the floor drinking his wine and try and create a situation where it's hard for them to get at him, because I did say I'd protect him.
All right. So if you're going first, then Titus, that sounds like you're making a roll to create advantage to me.
I am indeed.
So it's going to be a difficulty 2 roll. You need a fair result.
Okay. I'm going to use force, as I'm just using my body as the shield. And it's an average shield.
Okay, if you're sticking with that roll...
Oh, can I do something? I don't have any... I don't have any aspects applicable right this moment in time.
You are wielding the hammer.
I am. Oh, yeah, I'll do that again. If I could do that, I didn't think I could do that like just twice in a row.
Yeah, it's because we're in a different combat round.
Yeah, all right, boom, it's done.
What would you like to call the advantage that you've got 1 free invoke of?
Ooh, honor guard. There you go.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so you have 1 free invoke of that.
And that can be given to the
Who would
captain
you
as
like
well.
to go next?
I think it should be the hero of the Republic. He's going to save us now.
Yeah, let's go. Theron, go! We believe in you.
I love you, Theron. I love you so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna be signing autographs after this if any of us live. Right. With my precision, which kind of saved me from being, I don't know, disheartened just now. I'm going to. Are they still walking on the mountaintop?
At the minute, they're looking as though they're getting ready to like leap into the air and actually sort of take the air, which obviously gives them more of an advantage when they're attacking. But at the moment, they are on the ground.
Yeah. So what I want to do is do a whole bunch of call shots. I'm gonna shoot them in their like legs, so to like pin them down on the mountaintop.
Your attack roll.
And
I believe in you.
because I have the Tachyon Bow of Athena, I'll get a +2 on this one. Let's see how that goes. So that's a 5.
Okay, so I'll make that defense roll. Oh, if I can remember the command. Okay, currently they're equaling you, so you wouldn't do any damage, but you would gain a boost.
Well, I have a +2 on top of that from my my
Oh,
stun.
sorry, I
Yeah.
thought you'd taken the +2 into
Yep.
account. Okay, yeah, so you can take out 2 of these harpies, so describe how that goes down.
They're getting ready to assault the honor guard of Hephaestus, and apparently the captain of the Trelas Cosmos as well, who is probably standing there with his hammer. And there's a couple of these harpies who come charging in, and I shoot them. I basically kneecap them, and I think they just like fall over right next to Tidius, who can then just like step on their heads and crush them.
Indeed, and that's what happens. You shoot these harpies, effectively sort of hobbling them. They fall to the ground next to the Scion of Hephaestus, Titus, and he sort of brings the hammer down, reverses it, and brings it down again on the second one. There's an explosion of sort of sparks and electricity as these things are sort of smashed to smithereens. Who would you like to go next?
Our intrepid navigatrix, I guess.
Compliance.
Okay, Olin is gonna reach deep inside herself, find the darkness, the connection to the river Styx, and summon the Never Babies to attack the Harpies.
Okay, so you're summoning your group of mooks, is that
No,
correct?
that's a ranged attack.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So make your ranged attack roll. Okay, I'll make their defense roll. Okay, since they're the divine vengeance of Zuzu, the fate point to give plus. I'm currently beating you by 1. Are you sticking with your roll?
I can't really. I mean, did we get a invoke? Was that spent?
You have a free invoke of the honor god that's still available.
Hades doesn't look like being outdone by Zeus. Just saying.
That's true. Okay, I'll spend that. I'll use that invoke to the honor guard. On guard.
Okay, so your Never Babies are able to dispatch 1 of the remaining harpies. So describe what occurs.
Okay, as the 2 first are beaten back, one of them sees its opportunity and swoops in to rake at the captain or our Hestian. And the babies will attack it and kind of like absorb into it, and there will come a scream from the beyond, and the porcelain will begin to crack, and the harpy will fall apart, and the babies will come out.
Okay, so these phantasmal, almost like sort of like fetuses, effectively materialize in the air, sort of as your navigator gestures at one of these harpies. They seem to sort of like almost like phantasms that melt into it, and as they do so, cracks start appearing in the alabaster skin of this harpy, and it almost bursts apart from the inside, and these phantasmals of the spectres drift out from the wreckage. Okay. Is there anyone left of you guys to go this round?
Me, but I'll pass it to them because I'm protected.
I think Matthew didn't do anything.
Oh, he did.
I created advantage.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, to be honest, it's down to Dennis because you were the last one to go. So it's either the captain or the harpies going next. It's up to you.
Well, if the captain is occupied, I will say the harpies.
Okay, not a problem. The harpies leap, well, the remaining 2 of them leap into the air, beating their wings, and begin to savagely launch an attack against you guys. So I'm going to make an attack roll against each of you again. This time they are in the air. Okay, so I'm going to do an attack against Leon first. If I can get the command right for once, that'd be nice. There we go. So if you want to make a defense roll, Leon.
I'm sticking with that.
Okay, currently I'm beating you by 2. Okay, so you take 2 stress as one of these harpies flies past you and actually slices your midriff with the sharp edges of its wings as it swoops past you, sort of spiraling in and out of the group. I'm going to make an attack roll now against Theron.
Dang.
Ooh.
Hang in there, Theron.
Obviously, they've realised who the greatest threat potentially is to them in this group.
Damn, son, you.
Yeah. And sorry, at this point they're just sort of like starting to take flight.
Well, they've basically leapt into the air, and then the 2 that remain are now sort of swooping and diving in and out of you guys, slicing you with their razor-sharp wings and their claws as they swoop in and out of you.
Damn. Okay.
Well, first up, roll. Let's see how bad
Yeah.
you do, and then we'll go from
Yeah.
there.
Can I ask a question here, John? Let's say he wanted to keep them at bay and fire his bow as a defensive action. Can you do that in Fate?
Yeah, he could effectively justify a defense roll by saying he's firing his bow for like some narrative flavour. Yeah.
So I don't know, like just rapid firing these like very light draw arrows, just like in the general direction, so that they have to do these like crazy stunts when they fly towards me. And I'm gonna say guile for that, or maybe haste is probably the better one because I'm just like spasming with the bow.
Go for it. Just roll well.
Yeah, haste certainly better.
Okay.
Well, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not like minus anything. Well, I have no fate points, so we'll.
Okay, so you take 4 stress. You fire this flurry of arrows, which does sort of slow the harpies down. But one of them, as it sort of wheels away from you, it lashes out with one of its clawed feet and rakes across your neck, sending splatters of your blood into the snow.
Yep.
The captain.
Right. All right. As it's coming through, I'm just gonna like grab one of the heads of the fallen harpies that's next to me and just chuck it back at it as it's coming down. And I will spend a fate point on my what's called honor guard, the one that's around me, to make that a +4.
Okay, not a problem. So as one of these harpies is like diving towards you, you fling this head, sort of striking it on the side of its own face, and it screeches, wheeling away from you.
It also takes 1 stress.
Indeed. So now I'm going to make the last attack roll against Tidus.
Bring it. Don't bring it.
It's blocked.
Okay, I'm going to try. Oh, God. I'm going to try and use focus. I'm going to basically by just concentrating on its move, trying to catch it and sort of redirecting it away from me.
Okay, go for it.
However, I feel that this may not go my way. It almost went my way. I'm going to use the hammer again. I'm just going to say like, it really hurts when this thing clips you. So I'm going to add a +2.
Do it. Spend a fate points.
Okay.
I really hope the judge doesn't have any fate points left to.
So I don't have any more fate, but I get a number of fate points each encounter equal to the number of players. But obviously I've spent all of this encounter, so.
Ooh.
So you swing your hammer, sort of catching one of these on the side of its wing, causing it to wheel away. There are still 2 of them remaining, though. I'm now going to pass the next turn over to Theron.
Take my turn here, guys.
Oh, sorry, have you not taken a turn? My apologies, Lloyd. Pass it to you.
When it was coming closer and swinging down, is that moment for me to like reach up and grab it and just like slam it into the ground and hold it down?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll like
I can
sort of
see
like
this going well.
Touchdown.
like sort of like try and like hold it down as hard as I can.
So are you trying to restrain it, or are you actually trying to damage it?
I'm trying to restrain it.
Okay. So I'm going to make its defense.
Important
roll.
question: is the wineskin still in your mouth, though?
Yeah, that's probably why I rolled so badly.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you sticking with your roll?
I'm gonna have to. There's no way I can boost that to beat it.
Okay, so you you attempt to reach up and grab one of these things, but as you do, it basically kicks out with its legs, sort of impacting you in the chest, not causing any damage, but sort of like throwing you onto your back in the snow.
Why am I back here again?
And who would you like to go next?
Now it goes to Theron. That'll begin the round.
Can I do self-compel thingy in combat, or how does that work?
You certainly suggest a self-compel, but you wouldn't be able to use the fate points you got on the same round. Yeah. So what do you suggest?
What I'm suggesting is that I got hit pretty hard last time with the claws, and we are on a mountaintop, and it's difficult to climb, as I can see one of the aspects is there. I'm gonna say that as I stagger back and just like try to hold my neck together, I'm just gonna slip and like start like dangling from one of the edges with one hand.
Okay, I'll say if you're willing to take a couple of stress from that, you can have a fate point.
I have one left.
Take it.
Okay, so
yeah,
grab yourself a fate point.
Righty then. So,
so what are you doing then? You're just hanging on this ledge.
Yeah, I'm hanging from the ledge, pressing down on the wound in my neck, and
better be good.
As you're sort of dangling and you're sort of looking down at the rest of the mountain far below you, you can see the harpy that got thrown over the cliff edge. It's sort of like lying further down, like obviously completely like broken, sparks flying out of it. It's still like twitching like spasmodically as it lies on these razor sharp rocks below you.
Well, there's not much I can do right now, and I'm not just gonna like pull myself up. I'm going to I want to create an advantage, and I want to do it by like shouting instructions on how to destroy these things, because I've destroyed a fair few of them, so I know where to hit them, where the armor is weak, and so on. So what?
Okay, so roll to create an advantage. It's difficulty 2.
And what I'm proposing is intellect for that.
Strategy. That's fine.
So that would be 4, and I have a stunt that relates to this. It's ontology, the study of things that exist and are. So I get +2 when I create advantage with my brain. So
okay, so that you now have an advantage called sort of like tactics.
Yeah.
Which you have 2 free invokes on. Who would you like to pass the turn to?
This is a new round, right? So it's gonna be the captain.
You know what? He's giving me some really good advice as to what I need to do. I know what my plan should be. So I'll take his advice and throw another harpy head at it.
Okay, go for it, make your attack roll.
Because I'm like, you're like, so use your, you're right. Use them against themselves. I'll grab the board and like, just chuck it. 2. Let's see. What does it roll first? 4? I can tie that, but that's not much going to help me.
It would potentially get you a boost, though. So
that's a good point. Use. I will spend a fate point on.
Okay. So
basically, disorientated. It's flying, right? So I'm assuming like flying must be one of its aspects it can do. So I throw it at it, and it hits in the head. It's like, oh, and it's sort of like spinning around like that. So it's a bit disorientated. So that's a free boost I'm going to use.
Okay, so you guys have got 2 free invokes on tactics and a free boost of disorientated. Who would you like to pass?
I will pass the turn to Thaddeus. Hope Thaddeus can do the finishing blow. All right, Thaddeus, this is it.
Do you mean Titus?
I think it means you.
Titus.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Titus. I don't fucking.
I was like,
Thaddeus is his pet name.
okay.
For you.
I got you.
Carry
You're
me.
Titus on the ship, Thaddeus in the sheets.
Right. So I'm tired of these profane things on this profane mountain. I'm going to effing profane these things out of existence. Hammer time.
Do it.
Right. So nearest Happy's going to get it with some force.
Go for it.
Force. Yeah. Yeah, they are. And I'm going to add. How many free evokes do we get? Was it 3?
That's 3.
You've got
I'm only
three.
going to add 1 at this particular stage. And I will go with tactics.
Okay. It's fine. We'll still give you enough to take out the remaining 2 harpies. So describe how that goes down.
So yeah, one of them tries to get at the captain, and I catch it by the ankle and bring my hammer up and just smush it straight in the face and take its face just comes apart as the hammer keeps going. I sort of push it off the cliff. And the other one, I can see he's going to go for our intrepid hero who's dangling like a silly sausage off the mountain, and actually throw the hammer at it and catch it at the back.
Nice. As it's sort of reaching down, presumably trying to throw Theron off the mountain fully, you just watch Theron as like its head explodes as his hammer just like hits it in the back of the head, and you're like showered in that circuitry.
Yeah, I'm just like
it's just its
turning my
face
face away.
in.
Ah!
And I'll get up. I'll leave the captain to his wine for a second and go and reach and get Theron up from his predicament.
And as he does,
Indeed, and I think
oh no, okay.
I was going to say, I think since Theron's such a hero of the Republic, I think that he's probably actually like caught the hammer as it's like in like his free hand, and you help him up, Titus.
And then I sort of go, see, tactics, it worked, like you said. I threw the head at him. He's fine, and we won.
That's good improvisation. Oh, that hurt.
Everyone all right?
It looks like a nasty wound there.
Alien, are you all right?
Yes. And she goes over and help the captain up.
Oh, I'm fine. Oh, actually, guess I'm not that far.
Are the harpies fading away again?
They have slowly started to fade away, yes.
Can I make a logical conclusion, John, that are these the same amount of harpies attacked as originally?
Indeed.
Right. It could be a coincidence, Captain. However, these seem the exact same number attacked as yesterday. My theory
All right,
that they
then, in that case, I take your logic. Stop it from happening. Do something. Stop them from spawning.
You wish me to interfere with Zeus's plan?
No, I need to slow it down. Slow it down. Make them not spawn for a few days.
Maybe
That's the whole purpose of this.
If they are the same, they should.
You cannot improve on the divine.
One of them should be
Captain,
missing an eye, right?
This is dangerous talk we are
That
suggesting.
is categorically wrong. The divine has been improved on already. The previous divine, currently, well,
Will you hurry up?
I sort of look at the
like,
sky.
what?
I'm like, really? Really, Zeus?
While they're debating, Olin is gonna feel around for the harpy heads that Aeson drew and see if she can, before they fade, if they have both their eyes.
As you pick up one of the heads, just before it fades away, as you turn it around in your hand, you do see one of the heads is missing an eye.
Grab the wings. If you grab the wings, they can't fly. They can't fly. They can't get the food.
Okay, she will try to reach after something.
Okay.
else.
I shall do so.
Okay. You get to the wings, they are still fading away.
Can I like put my foot down, like, rip them off, and then hold on to them? Maybe that'll work. Maybe.
Yep, you rip them off and hold on to them. The wings are still fading away in your hand, becoming
Darn it!
transparent.
Pour some of the wine on it. Maybe that'll affect it.
Wait, what? I'm not wasting wine.
This was your plan, Captain.
Okay, you've only got a very few moments before they fade away entirely. If anyone's going to do something to stop it, it's going to have to be
I'm generally like completely lost. I look at Titus like, Titus, this is it. What do we do?
Reverse the polarity.
Shit, I don't have any fair points. Damn it.
What are we gonna do?
I can create like small automatons with fate points. I could jumble them into something. I
That would have been really useful right about now. Do something! Anything! Don't make us fight these things again!
What I would say is, if you wish to use the ability, you can still effectively use it, which is to make quite a difficult roll.
All right, I'll have a go. Try and fashion them into something. Like maybe I'll try and fashion them so they're all stuck together or something like that. So they.
Okay, it's going to be a difficulty 4 roll, probably intellect.
Okay. Thanks, John. That's.
I believe in you. Just roll really well. Just do it. Just do it.
Like that! Like that!
Okay, not a problem. Describe what you are constructing, because there's quite a wreckage.
Yeah. So what I do is I just get my tools out and just start connecting the wires, and I start soldering as fast as I can. And what I do is I basically put the helpers back together, but in a way that chains them together, and none of them can like sort of get at the chains. So it's like the end one can't get at the thing that restrains it. So they're sort of just scrambling around.
Okay, not a problem. You link them together as you suggested, and you do indeed notice as you've done so that the rate they're fading away at slows down a lot. So they are still fading away, but it's a lot more slow.
Would it say it's about maybe 2-3 days slow?
Not quite.
You're not entirely sure. However, if they remain in the state they are when they reappear, it will take them quite some considerable time to like unchain themselves. So he's effectively like welded them all together.
I've tried to make them the least aerodynamic ever I can.
You know what? That'll do. That's technically a win. I'll take it.
Don't tell Zeus.
Don't tell Zeus.
Okay, so are you guys heading back down the mountain?
No. Can we fly? I look at Theron. Is there no shortcut? My legs are tired. I really don't want
We could fashion a sort of a sleigh.
Well, I'm just saying, won't the individual down at the bottom of the mountain be eating and drinking wine right about now?
Wait, free wine as good as the gods? You know what? Maybe we should climb after all. Yep, come on, boys, let's get going.
But he's having.
I'll have a fate point.
He's having a party of one, Captain.
But not if I can help it.
I don't think he's
the captain's already like trying to climb down the mountain. As soon as you mentioned that wine, he got that lustful look in it.
It'd be really good if he could just instantly turn up at places, wouldn't it? If they're having a party.
I know, but I can't do that while you guys aren't there.
Oh, okay.
I can't use the ability to just teleport away from you guys and be somewhere else. Because I'm like, especially since we're on a mountain.
I mean, that's where the wine is, though.
Yeah, it's not so much he teleports. It's more like, when a party starts, he just
it's not. I'm not actually teleporting.
All right.
Okay, so guys, can I ask you to all make me another difficulty?
Does my stress from the previous climb has gone? No.
This is all still part of the same encounter.
Can I? Okay.
Is it any easier?
So, since I've done this before, am I able to use intellect to try and remember the best trail, looking for whoever did it better than me? That's great, because otherwise I'm going to pass out on this mountain.
I'm about to pass out on this mountain.
Evelyn is going to take her time, so can she
Yeah,
use
I'm-
focus?
Mountains are hard.
Mountains are hard.
I fall a little.
Okay, so again, Theron and Jason are just like la 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 down the mountain they go. No,
I'm an
problem.
engineer, not a hero.
However, Leon, you take like a point of stress. Again, you take a few scratches as you head down the mountain.
The same fucking thing again.
It's
The captain pretty much just like launches himself over the edge and like, oh, gonna get with some wine.
YOLO.
Okay, so you'll be taking 4.
I cannot take 4 stress. I mark my hurt box. I think it's appropriate.
Okay, so the captain's like quite badly beaten up by the time you guys will arrive at where he's fallen. However, before we get to that though, Titus is like, "Don't worry, Captain, I'll help you." And Titus, you take 5 stress.
I have to mark my hurt box. I've twisted my ankle.
Okay, yeah. So guys, you have to write sort of like next to your hurt, like what sort of how the injury manifests itself. So you
Yeah, that's what I did.
ankle.
Can I write fell off a mountain?
I'd say forced it.
It's more a description of
I'd
the
say
injury
forced
rather
it was
than like
sober.
how you
That's a
could do it.
terrifying fact.
God no, I'm not writing that down. That's my injured box.
How about 2D?
2D.
Okay, so by the time Jason, Theron, and Leon arrive at the bottom of the mountain, where Titus and Captain Asen have fallen, they're both looking like pretty banged up. So
Just put me on the carriage and take me towards the food. I'll be fine.
Are you sure, Captain?
Yes, we're going. I did not climb this mountain and fall off it not to enjoy the fine wines. Take me to the wine. Just do it.
Okay, and as you all ride southwards, we're now in a new scene, so you can get rid of your stress.
Yay!
Okay, so as you ride back towards the Temple of Zeus, you get there, it's starting to get sort of dark, it's like dusk. You can see Phineas is sort of still sat there, obviously not having dared to like touch the food until he found out if you guys had been successful. He's sat there as he hears you approach, he's like, Who's there?
Shh. It hurts to think.
It is us, Phineas.
Fear
Old
not.
Phineas.
Ah, good. Have you freed me from those loathsome harpies?
We have cast them down, yes.
One way to find out, I say as I grab the nearest bottle of wine and down it.
Yeah, you pick up this big like amphora of like wine, like no harpies appear to menace you. You glug down this divine taste. It's like the best wine you've ever tasted. So hearing you like glugging that back, Phineas just like falls on this bread and fruit and everything. He's like he's not eaten like forever. He's just like shoving stuff into his mouth. Like his cheeks are like bulging out like some sort of demented hamster.
That's going to give him some nasty indigestion.
Now, the Stoics advise us that moderation in all things is advisable.
Theron, I command you to not speak.
I offer
It's alright. Phineas isn't paying him any attention. He's like,
I offer Elon some wine, if you can see it.
She
Sorry, she. Sorry, I keep saying he. I apologize. She.
declines. She goes over to the captain and looks at him. Are you sure you should be doing this?
Would you like a space bagel?
Space Does it have space pastami on it?
Space rings.
Space salted beef?
we call it Spurky.
Just Greek yogurt.
I don't know. I don't like the name Spurky.
I sort of look at Ellie and I look at myself like gorging away. I'm like, I sort of like dust myself off and like straighten myself. Go, Phineas, we need to talk about that question we need answered.
He swallows his mouthful of food. There's grape juice and wine like dribbling down his chin, like a couple of olives like mushed into the front of him as he's been shoving this stuff down his face. He looks at you and he says, well, very well then, you've kept your part of the bargain and I will keep asking me your questions and I will answer them.
All right. I look at Jason, I look at Phineas, I look at the rest of them, I go, I believe the question is, where do we need to go to find the golden fleece that will cure the people of Athens?
He looks at you, turns his blind eyes towards you and says, the golden fleece that lies on the world of Colchis. It is, but first you must sail through the sea of clashing rocks to get there. I can tell your navigator the way, but beware, for the clashing rocks are the realm of the dreaded Talos, the bronze giant who guards the sea of clashing rocks.
He's gonna laugh.
There's none to pass.
Does anyone have any questions for the man who has foresight?
Jason steps forward and says, is it true, Phineas, that the fleece can cure all ills? Phineas says, yes, the fleece was a gift from the god Zeus himself. When it is laid on someone who is stricken with sickness, it will purge their body of whatever ails them and restore them to health. Is there anything else you would ask of me?
There's something Titus wants to ask, but if he has to do it in company.
As you're sort of thinking that, Phineas turns towards you and he says, "What is it you wish to ask me, Titus?"
I have a friend whom I miss dearly. I wonder where they could be found.
Who is this friend that you miss so dearly?
I'll lean in and whisper.
As he leans into whisper, I also lean in, and then he gives me the look. I'm like, oh,
Get your own secrets.
He turns towards you and says, "Your friend is even now seeking you. Fear not, she will seek you out, but she carries a great many evils with her. It is a great darkness you have unleashed on the Republic."
Phineas, be cool. Phineas, be cool. Thank you, Phineas. Your proclamation.
He sort of like grabs hold of your arm and pulls you closer, and he goes, "A great darkness," and then he releases your arm. Is there anything else you would ask?
Olin looks up. She's tearing some sheets to mend the captain's leg. She would ask if the captain would ever sober up, but she kind of knows the answer to that already.
You do not require foresight for that answer.
Yeah.
I sort of go.
If you sit still, Captain, and she ties it around his leg.
What? My leg is ow, ow, ow. All right, maybe I could do with some, maybe just relaxing, and you don't have to. I mean, I'm fine, really. It's I will be. It's so hot in here, isn't it?
Are you sure? Because
Let's yes, I'll just sit down.
you just seem more.
Phineas turns towards Leon and says, "You must sail north from here, enter the domain of Hades and sail towards the Red Sun. When you reach it, leave the realm of Hades behind, and you will be on the boundary of the Sea of Clashing Rocks. But beware, Talos, the Bronze Giant, Sentry of the Gods."
She nods to him.
Do you know the way
Actually, I
to
have a
get...
question.
Oh, go
How
ahead.
do we defeat Talos the Bronze Giant?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Talos is a mighty power, but he has a weakness. A small area of him is not as well armoured as the rest. Search for the mark of the circle upon his bronze skin, and you will find the area where he is weakest.
Very good.
As she says that, she ties the knot to the bandage on the captain's leg.
Ah, thank you. Not so hard.
Wise Phineas, you
Yes,
see
Theron.
far and wide, I presume, with the sight that Zeus has given you. There is
Yes.
something that, as I'm sure you know, has greatly interested me and my fellows, stretching back centuries. Do you see your own death?
I know when my time will come, yes.
So, is it preordained? Do you believe?
Every man is given by the gods, but that time is not set in stone, although each of us has a doom that waits for us. We may forestall it by our own actions, but only for a certain time. To do otherwise is to defy the will of the gods.
Well, of course.
The battle waits for you out there somewhere, Theron.
Yes, I presume so. Either in the courtroom or the Senate floor or the battlefield.
Indeed, the gift of prophecy is not an exact science. It is difficult to convey the impressions that I receive in mere words, but I've told you what I can.
Mm.
Make the most of the time you do have, Theron. It is not how we die that is important, so much as how we have lived.
And how we drink.
And how many accounts of our deeds are written after we are gone?
After we drink.
Indeed. For after we are gone, it is only our deeds that remain behind to attest to our presence.
And our bills.
Do great deeds, and you will live on forever in the memory of others.
Whatever did you do, Phineas, to anger great Zeus so? For you speak words of wisdom.
When I was a younger man, when I was a great king of this place, I was bestowed much bounty by Zeus. I was given this paradise world. I was good to my subjects. But as I was given the gift of prophecy, I foresaw that a doom would befall my kingdom. And in my arrogance, I attempted to use my gift to thwart the will of the gods and avoid the doom. And in doing so, I brought it about and brought it upon myself.
I'm glad that you have seen fit to mend your ways and learn something from this, I presume. Tell me, what do you wish to do next? You have food now.
I know from what I've seen that I will never leave this place again. But it is good that I've met people I'm able to help at least one more time. Perhaps through helping you and showing wisdom here, I will earn some small measure of forgiveness for my youthful arrogance.
Phineas will be remembered in the legend that we are writing for ourselves at the moment. Isn't that right, Captain?
Yes.
Phineas the Wise
No.
will be remembered when we
I
pour
will decree a party in Phineas's name on the eve of our meeting for every year.
Thank you. He reaches inside his tunic and he takes out what appears to be a small sort of clay idol or statue that appears to depict Poseidon. He takes it from around his neck and he holds it out towards you, Theron. He says, I'm afraid other than my words, I don't have any more to give you besides this. It's a small thing for what you have done, but it's all I have. And he holds this small idol out towards you.
I'll take it. And what is this?
It is a small statue of the great god Poseidon. Once he was a second patron to my kingdom. We honoured the three great divine brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, in my kingdom. But now that all has fallen into ruin, that is all I have left to give you besides my wisdom.
Very good. I shall carry it with us, and we will take the fortune of the Lord of the Water with us. For we are about to embark upon very strange tides.
That is true.
He nods. And as Theron says, we're about to embark on strange tides. That is where we start to fade to black. The Space Grease theme music starts to...
It's like a really cheesy B-movie kind of retro-y Rocky theme, I think.
No, it's not one of those like those funky 80s themes, of course. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
And as the credits begin to roll, that is where we end the session, gentlemen. Obviously, we'll discuss advancement. I'll get some feedback from you, etc. But for now, I'm going to end the broadcast. So just thank you very much for playing, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Thank you to anyone who's watching. This has been session 2 of Jason and the Cosmonauts. And we hope to see you at the next session. Space Green.